welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Anna Haberman. I am a high school graduate, just trying to figure out life and what God has planned for me. Um, and yeah, this is going to be my first official podcast. So this is not the normal setting, by the way, I will preface that. I am currently on family vacation, so normally I will be at home, but just for this week, I figured since I have a little bit of time, I can try to get this done. So yeah, this is going to be a little bit of a shorter one, just because it's going to be like kind of a get to know me, and stuff like that. And then please let me know down in the comments what you guys would like to see from me eventually. I want to try to make this like kind of like a internet big sister type thing, if that makes any sense. So like just advice, like kind of talk about me and like what I've experienced in my life, and even though I'm only 18, like just kind of like stuff like that. So anyway, first off, let's get started. Like I said before, my name is Anna Haberman. I'm a high school graduate. Just graduated about a month ago. I think, ish, something like that. Um, and so yeah, just trying to figure out what I want to do from there. I do ballet and modern. Been doing dance for about 2 years now, and going to continue doing it through my gap year that I'm taking. Um, I have three younger siblings. Jude, who is almost 15, Liam, who's 11, or Liam, who's 13, and Nandi, who's 11. Um, and Nandi is my adopted sister. So that'll be kind of a whole nother a whole nother episode. But kind of real quick recap. We adopted her from India after about 10 years of waiting, or 10 years of that process. And that is pretty not common for that, to wait 10 years. But yeah, we got her about a year ago, matched with her almost 2 years ago. So yeah, and she's amazing. She's so fun. Yeah. My mom and my dad are in our family as well. We have two ferrets, Olaf and Leia. Yeah. So some things I like to do are, like I said, dance. I like to just improv and freestyle and do stuff like that sometimes. And I also like to sing. I was on chapel team for my school this year, for my senior year, and then I am on worship team at my church. So I go whenever I get asked to sing. I do it, if I can. And so yeah, it's honestly really been super fun this year. Um, but going into kind of like my faith and my religion, because that's going to be a big thing on this podcast, is my faith. Um, so I grew up a pastor's kid. My dad's a pastor. He unfortunately lost his job a few years ago, so we had to move here, well, to our house in Indiana. I've moved about 3, 4, maybe 5 times, at least big moves. But we lived with my grandparents for about 18 months, and we finally bought a house. That's actually the first house we ever bought. But yeah, so I grew up a pastor's kid, always knew about God and had all the information and stuff like that, but it was never really my relationship. And so about maybe back in February of this year, I've been recently trying to get back into the Word and back into like taking control of my relationship with God. And so back in, I think, February, I went on a youth retreat with my friend's church youth group. Excuse me. And at that time, I was struggling with depression and anxiety, which I will talk about on another episode. but I was struggling with that and just relationships with my siblings. So we had like a little prayer circle, and surprisingly, I felt pushed to like not pushed by other people, but I felt pushed to go and ask for prayer and pray. Um, so I asked that my um, like anxiety and depression would get better. I prayed that my relationship with my siblings would get better, um, and my relationship with God would get better. And the cool thing was, as soon as I got home, me and my sister were like best friends. It was like that. It was insane, and definitely a God thing. Excuse me. But it was just super cool. Like, there's been so many things in my life that, are coincidences, but it's really a God thing. Like, as pretty much almost as soon as we started our adoption process, my little sister was born on the other side of the world. Um, but, like, it's just been super cool to see God's timing and everything like that. Um, but back to that, I've been claiming my own faith, and I have been like working on reading my Bible, doing worship time, or like doing Bible time, and so it's been really good. And I definitely would encourage you to step into ownership of your faith, because it is not a decision that anyone can make for you. It is a decision that you have to make for yourself. Um, but yeah, so more about me. By the way, I wanted to make this kind of clear. I wanted to make it like kind of more of a conversation type thing. Um, but yeah, a little bit more about me. I let's see. I don't even know. So recently, I've been kind of. I mean, this year, this whole senior year has been stepping out of my comfort zone. That's what I've been trying to make it. Excuse me. And so, one, I joined chapel team of my school. That was a big step. Two, I made new friends, went to a new school, um, even had a relationship along the way, except unfortunately it didn't pan out. But like, it's just been all about pushing myself. So I've started some things that I've been doing for years are wearing makeup every day, doing my hair every day, um, and just like dressing and trying to keep up with the times and the trends. And it's definitely taken a toll on my mental health. I will say that. Um, but it's certainly something that is, very like it was a learning experience. So just recently, I've started trying to push myself out of my comfort zone with my body more, and so I've been wearing things that I normally wouldn't wear, and I've been wearing my hair just curly, like natural, because my hair's naturally, well, it was naturally curly, and then I cut it, and now it's naturally wavy. So I've been trying to wear my hair just normal a lot. I've been trying to wear no makeup a lot, and I mean this is pretty minimal makeup. Let me get a light real quick. Let's see if that'll help. It is very dark. Okay. Okay. Hopefully that's a bit better. Maybe let's turn it down one. Okay. Yeah, so I've been trying to push myself doing that. And so I've been like wearing no makeup, like I said, and just doing my natural skin, like just doing some skincare and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, it's honestly super, super empowering. Like, I want to try to use my platform, even though, excuse me, I don't have a huge following. I want to try and help as many people as I can, because that's just my heart. Like, I'm super passionate about helping people, and especially helping kids. Like that's something that um, I think my parents really instilled in me, which I'm very happy about. I have a heart for adoption, so when I'm older and am married and stuff like that, I want to. It's a bit extreme. I want to have 6 kids, but I want to adopt 3 and have 3 of my own. But if God calls me, if God calls me to whatchamacallit, God calls me to adopt more or stuff like that, then that's what I'm gonna do. But kind of going off that, something that's like, well, not really related to that, but going to college most likely. Like, I I took a gap year. I think I mentioned it. Um, but it's something that I felt maybe might help me strengthen my relationship with my siblings more, my relationship with my parents, and God, most importantly. Um, and so, in like, there were a couple reasons I was taking a gap year. I missed application deadlines because I had no idea where I want to go, what I want to do, what God wants me to do. So, like, it's a little complicated right now, but I'm figuring it out. I have a job right now. I'm working at a concession stand. Unfortunately, at a baseball field. Unfortunately, the season is ending soon, so I'm gonna have to get a new job. But along with doing that, I have to do a few other things. Um, but yeah, it's been super fun this past year getting to learn about myself and what I feel comfortable with, what others feel comfortable with, and like, you know, learning that the only opinion that matters is yourself, God, and like your close circle of friends. I mean, like, even they don't really matter. Like, I learned to stop caring about what other people think because the only person, like, if you feel good, you feel good. If people don't like that, whatever. Like, I had some friends who they kind of criticized me for my beliefs and my morals because like I said, I'm not from Indiana originally. I'm from Buffalo, New York, born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Um, but I have some different beliefs than others, which is fine. I make it a habit to never ever force my religion or my beliefs on anybody. Um, like, you are allowed to have your own opinion, and that is okay. Like, your choice is your choice. But I had some friends who criticized me for that, along with certain ways I dressed or looked. And like, it wasn't out loud, but it was silent and very much made my high school experience kind of miserable. But senior year, I learned that I need to forgive myself and forgive others for that. So I forgave them and apologized because I needed to let them know that I made a mistake as well, kind of ignoring them after I left that school. Um, but yeah, it's been super cool because like now I feel like I can just be myself, and like if people don't like that, then like you can leave. Like, sometimes I get hate comments on some videos I post. Um, but I'm just like, you know what? If you don't like it, why'd you take the time to comment on it and watch the video through? Blah, blah, blah. You're still watching my content. So, like, I posted a singing video, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is so bad. Don't ever post a video again. I'm like, if you don't like it, leave. All it takes is a swipe nowadays. So, yeah. But, like, don't care about what other people think because your opinion matters. Your voice matters. Do not let it get trampled on because I did that as well, and like I let my voice get trampled on, and it was not fun. And so that'll be kind of another episode. But like I have learned just so many things over the past year. And just becoming an adult has like not opened my eyes, but has taught me a few things as well. Like, I'm going to be going to college next year. I'm going to be on my own. I'm going to need to have a job, just things like that. Like, actually learning to adult. Um, but yeah, I've been just trying to learn more about myself, take the time to do that. And that's one of the things that I've also been trying to do is take care of myself. My mental health is important to me. My self care is important to me. Like my shirt says, self love club, you know. Um, so I do my best to make sure that I give myself like a day, like I'll take like an evening out of the week and I'll do like, just a face mask, do some hair care, do things like that. Just, relax, decompress, um, because, life is crazy. Um, so like all I gotta say, is like just make sure that you take care of yourself because you are like above, below God is you are the most important person to yourself besides God. um, but like it's just been super cool getting to learn about myself, what I like, what I don't like, pushing myself out of my comfort zone. Like, I've been doing so many things that it's hard to like, I'll have like dance, I'll have school, I'll have like, vocal stuff, but I just like, you know, it's nice to get to, you know, socialize or, push yourself out of your comfort zone. And just recently on worship team, I actually led some impromptu worship, which was really cool. Um, I mean, it wasn't like impromptu, but it was like it just kept going. The song was still playing, it just kept going. Things like that. But it was really cool because I got to look back on that and say, oh my gosh, I did really good. But then, like, there's other things where I'm like, sometimes I'll record myself when I'm singing. Um, that way I can go back on it and see what I did, like, what I did good, what I can improve on. So I'm like, oh, maybe I didn't hit that note right, or maybe I was too pitchy, or maybe, something happened there. And I'm like, okay, what can I do to be better next time? Because yes, it's about worshiping God, and no one at church is there just to see me and the band, doing our stuff. They're there to worship and to praise our God and, listen and learn about Him. Um, and so I've learned that people don't like, they're not watching you, they're worshiping. So I kind of have started to change my mindset of like, oh, if they're not gonna like, they're worshiping God. I do have to present myself by, sounding good, but there's no pressure of like, oh my gosh, is like, she's gonna mess up, blah blah blah, like what'll happen. So yeah, but it's been super cool getting to learn about myself. I'm pretty much self-taught in like my voice, and that comes with growing up in a musical family. My mom sings, my dad sings. Both were on worship teams, um, and my younger brother also does percussion and bass. And then my siblings are just starting to kind of get into that. My other siblings. Um, but yeah, it's been really cool. And another thing I've been like noticing more is like my siblings, they're so much older now. Like Judah's gonna be a sophomore in high school next year. Liam's gonna be in eighth grade, and Nandi is gonna be in fifth grade. And I'm like, she just finished her first full school year in America, which is so crazy, and I'm so proud of her. Like she has improved by leaps and bounds. Like English is one of the hardest languages to learn, and she's speaking full fluent sentences like only a year after she was brought home. And so, like, and then Liam, my gosh, he's so funny. Um, so he has made two really good friends at the school, at our new school, and so he's been getting together with them, and he's growing up. He just became a teenager this year, um, and so I'm just seeing him like start to mature from a boy to a teenager, or like a boy to, you know, whatever's in between boy and man, because he's not quite a man yet. um, but it's just really cool. And then Judah, like, he is almost 15. He's he's in high school, which is so weird. Um, I'm just so proud of him because he's undergone some hardships as well, which I won't share that because that's his thing. But he's undergone some hardships as well through school and stuff like that, and he's just persevered through all of that. And he's also had some hard times as well, but he's persevered through all that, and he's just this like happy, funny kid, like guy, man, I guess. I don't know, but I'm just so proud of all of them because through adoption, like, I mean, to any of my followers, like, if you guys are adoptees or adoptive families, um, like, you know, or have adopted siblings, like, I get that you are not alone because I have undergone the hardships of it. If you are in the middle of the hard times, do not worry because you will get through it. I did. Okay. I unfortunately had to go through some pretty, I'm not sure how to word it, pretty hard things with the adoption. And not saying that it's bad, like, it's just part of the process because there's years and years and years of trauma and behavioral issues and just so much that comes along with it. Even if you adopt a little baby, that's like, that's trauma, and it could be generational trauma. It could be, along with like the physical needs of the child. Um, but even through all of the hard things me and my siblings have undergone, like, we are all, I feel like now we are all pretty much at the happiest of the past year. Like, we went through a honeymoon phase, we went through um like a bad phase, we went through, getting back, and now we're at our good phase. Like, it's just been so cool. And so, like, me and my siblings are now like, we're kind of hanging out. I'm like, trying to hang out with them more and be there for them more because, they're getting older and, I'm not going to be here forever. I'm only going to have a year. And there's someone coming into here. Hi, Liam. I'm filming a podcast. My charger's right there. Yeah, but it's just been really cool. So as they're learning about themselves, I'm learning about myself. I'm making new friends. Like, I have so many new friends. Like, I love my old friends too, but like, it's just been so cool getting to, like, make these new connections. And it's so special to me because, some of my friends, like, in my close inner circle are like my sisters. Like, it's like I have, several more sisters instead of just one. But like, I'm trying to branch out a bit more too and make like some older friends because, I am a young adult now. And make some older friends and like make, some guy friends because generally I do gravitate more towards guys because, and not just because I'm a, crazy teenager, but, well, ish. But like, just because I'm, like, it's just, I grew up with brothers for, so many years that, like, it's just more, like, comfortable, I guess. And there's a lot less drama. Like, guys will just punch each other and then they're good. and after like a fight or something. And I mean, I love my girlfriends, but like, you know, it's just like not with them so much, just with others. Like there's just been so much drama that I'm like, I can't. And that's why I was so happy to be done with school finally, because there was just so much drama. Like my 4 years of high school, like middle school was pretty okay. I wouldn't say it was the best year ever. Um, I mean, my 3 years of high school, um, so freshman, sophomore, junior, I was at a different school, and that was rough because I felt left out constantly, and yeah, and then senior year, I mean, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows and stuff like that. There were some hard things, but I made friends that I really hope will last a lifetime, because like these girls, we become so close in such a short time. And then to my old friends, like, they've been with me through thick and thin. Like they've been with me throughout, a couple moves. Like they've been through, we've just been through so much together. And I'm so glad that they've stuck around. Um, but like, you know, I would just say, I would like, as I'm getting closer to the half an hour mark on this, I would just say, like, it is okay to reach out to people. Please do not keep it all bottled up, because I did that and I just exploded. I mean, I was isolated for a time. Like, I isolated myself. I developed depression. I had anxiety prior. I've had anxiety for about 5 years. But my anxiety got so much worse. And finally, it had just gotten to a point where I'm like, I need to have something. So, started working on that more. And now that I'm past that and at a good state, I am now making sure that I am, thinking about my mental health as well as others. But I've also had several switches in mindset. Um, like my sister, she has some behavioral issues, which is from 10 years of trauma. And so we've had to kind of switch up like the parenting style that my parents used on us for her. So we've had to change that just slightly, or just a bit. And so, like, it is hard for my extended family to understand sometimes, or just my friends, because they've never done this before. Like, it makes me incredibly proud though, because my sister's the first, she was the first adopted kid, I think, on both sides of my family. Um, and so that makes me so proud. Um, and so we've never had to do this before, but I'm like, oh, she's like, I've had to think about things now. Like, she's mad. Why is she mad? She's just dysregulated. She is, she has her watchdog brain on, if you understand any of this. But she just needs someone there, someone calm, someone who's regulated, and someone who can just sit there and be with her and calm her down. And I've had like a couple instances just this week, and it's only Tuesday, right? It's only Tuesday, I think. I don't know. But I've had a couple instances where, family has been like, oh yeah, you gotta put your shoes on. Like just earlier, they were like, oh yeah, you gotta put your shoes on, gotta put your shoes on, make sure you put your shoes on, you can't wear sandals, put your shoes on. I'm like, guys, relax. It is okay. She's just getting a little overwhelmed. Like she was just starting to, I could see it on her face, she was getting overwhelmed, getting dysregulated. I'm like, guys, relax. We got this. I will let mom and dad handle it. Um, you know, like it is okay. Some things are not worth the fight. Like, she spilled cereal on the floor. not worth a fight. If she doesn't want to clean it up, one of us will clean it up. Like it is, you know. But I've just had that switch in mindset where I'm like, okay, I need to be patient with her because, she's just being dysregulated and, just needs someone to be there for her to feel so she can feel safe. Because she's never, like, she's had years and years of trauma, like I said. And so she's always been, like, fight or flight, you know. Like, she's always had her guard up, and always, been in kind of like fight mode, really. But she, like, we're getting better, but we still have, a good ways to go. But we've come so far in such a short time that, like, I'm just proud of her and my parents because we've all been through so much now that, like, we've learned now. And, like, I've just learned from watching my parents, with her. And so I'm like, I want to make sure that I'm showing patience. That way, others around me, like my friends and my family, can see what I'm doing and then match that with her, or match that so that she feels safe. Because the most important thing is that she feels safe. Because, she might not have had that before. And so, yeah. But that was like that switch in mindset that I had, that I said. But it's just been like super, super cool to get to learn about, Nandi, Liam, and Jude, myself, like, my relationships with others. Like, I've, like, one of my newer friends, she, she'll know if she watches this. Hey, Pookie. Hi, Smexy. She'll know if she watches this, but, like, I love it because I love her so much. She and I have been, like, been through it together. Like, we both had failed relationships, and we both took it pretty hard. But we both persevered and were there for each other, and we both push each other to do better with, like, our relationships, or, like, our relationship with God, like our friendships, just things like that. And, like, we always, like, I can always just shoot her a text, or she can always do that with me. And I have other friends I can do that with as well. Like my one friend, she's been there for me for about 8 years now, I think. 7 or 8, something like that. And, I mean, we kind of grew up together. Not really, but, like, kind of, high school grew up together. That is what I mean. But yeah, I'm like, I know I can text her up anytime, and, she'll get back to me. Um, but it's just cool because I get to have, like, this inner circle of friends that's growing, and, like, I'm I'm gonna have some work friends probably. I mean, I have work friends now, but they're a little bit younger, because I work at a concession stand. So, like, but I'll be having, like, some work friends when I get a job, and, like, college friends when I get to college, like, it's just so cool because all of this has been God's timing. When I needed friends, He gave me friends. When I needed, like, parents, they were there for me. Like, when I needed my siblings, like, they were there for me. It's just been super cool to get to, like, live through this, basically, is what I'm saying. Like, Gen Z, we are living in life-changing times. Like, we are living through some of the craziest times. We went through COVID-19. We went through, like, several wars. Even though we weren't directly impacted, we still, are living in the same world. And, stuff like that. So to end this out, I just want to say, thank you so much for watching. I know I probably rambled the entire time. But hopefully these will get better. I'll actually have some questions written up. And hit me up on Instagram or in the comments. Um, my Instagram is at ajhabe_er129. And it's the same for what is it? I don't know. I forgot. But yeah, that's the same for my YouTube, I guess. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that post notification bell. That way you don't miss an episode of the Unfiltered podcast. And yeah, let's try to, be there for each other. Let's be praying for each other. But yeah, like, let's just try to make the world a better place. And I've tried to start a new hashtag, I think, but it's the hashtag Be Brave Together. So if you have put yourself out of your comfort zone this week, or you feel comfortable sharing it, um, please use that hashtag on Instagram or YouTube, and tag me. That way I know and I can show some love to you. But yeah, thank you so much. Words are hard. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you like this. And yeah, thank you.